You all again. This July, we're going to just have 2 weeks of talking about spiritual disciplines for uncertain times. So this week and next week, I'll be talking about the Christian practices that can help us as we deal with our current world situation. Right now, it does seem like the world is on fire. Daily, we watch news updates and hear stories that make us feel all kinds of things: angry, scared, annoyed, outraged even. It's hard to find stories of joy and hope. I think we all agree that we're living in a unique moment, a time like no other. In today's trifecta of troubles, as some have called it, that's pandemic, economic downturn, and societal unrest. Today's trifecta of troubles has provided plenty of uncertainty in our lives. But as our forefathers and foremothers in the faith would tell us, it is circumstances like these that remind us that we need to lean in to God. In tumultuous times, we lean into God, seeking His wisdom, looking for His big picture, the big story in which we are living. And we do this by taking a step back from ourselves and our own little microcosm of a world, and we cling to Christ as we ask God to show us His ways, which are often not our ways. If I had to diagnose the state of our souls today, I would call it the disquieted soul. The greatest spiritual condition right now, I think, is disquieted souls. And the prescription for such a disquieted soul is cultivating a life in Christ. Cultivation requires, as we all know, nourishment, attention, weeding, intervals of light and dark, seasons of sun and rain, cold and hot. This is the primary metaphor for the Christian life in uncertain times. The spiritual disciplines, or Christian practices, they're the same thing. These are the tools that we use to cultivate our hearts in a time of anxiety. These are activities, things that we can do, and ways we can engage our hearts and our minds to lean into God and seek Christ, and to nurture those parts of our character that help us and steep us in our godliness. These are not new things. In fact, they are ancient practices, but being ancient doesn't make them irrelevant. They're just right for this day and even for this time. It's important for us to remember that the spiritual disciplines are just that, disciplines. We are Jesus' disciples, which means we follow Him, we learn from Him, we are His apprentices. But discipline without direction is drudgery. We all know that. So imagine 6-year-old Kevin, whose parents have enrolled him in music lessons. And after school, every afternoon, prompted by his mother, he slouches into the living room and he strums songs he must practice but doesn't like while watching his buddies play baseball in the park across the street. That's discipline without direction. It's drudgery. Now suppose Kevin is visited by an angel one afternoon during guitar practice. In a vision, he's transported to Carnegie Hall. He's shown a guitar virtuoso giving a concert. And usually bored by classical music, Kevin, in fact, at this time is astonished by what he sees and what he hears. And he watches the musician's fingers dance on the strings with fluidity and grace. Kevin thinks of how stupid and clunky his own hands feel when they halt and falter over the chords. The virtuoso blends clean, soaring notes into a musical aroma that wafts from his guitar. Kevin remembers the toneless, irritating discord that comes stumbling out of his. But Kevin is enchanted. His head tilts to one side as he listens deeply. He drinks in everything. He never imagined that anyone could play a guitar like this. "What do you think, Kevin?" asks the angel. The answer is a soft, slow 6-year-old's "Wow." The vision vanishes, and the angel is again standing in front of Kevin in his living room. "Kevin," says the angel, "the wonderful musician you saw is you in a few years." And then pointing at the guitar, the angel declares, "But you must practice." Suddenly, the angel disappears, and Kevin finds himself alone with his guitar.